Next question. Okay. Is it true that Michael has worked with celebrities, actors, models, even porn stars? If so, why doesn't he name the names or post photos with some of them or of some of them? Because I don't need to. I hope you would have the same integrity. I know also it doesn't make sense because if you were my agent, let's say, your job would be to get every one of those things. Tell me the person. Let's disclose the name. Let's get photos of them and say Michael worked on them. Because they associate you with fame, and then you can call yourself the healer to the stars, the psychic to the stars, and so on. And I'm not having a problem with some of the people out there that use that as their angle because it's true maybe, but also they know people will like that. So I think that's pretty cool for them. For me, it doesn't really work. A lot of people know I have worked with these people. Sometimes they've seen testimonials from them posted on my website and so on. But I don't solicit usually these people and say, can you do this or that? Because their whole lives could be ruined by something like that. It was hard to believe that some of the porn stars that I've worked with had emotional breakdowns because of the traumas in their life that led them to doing porn, for example. And they've allowed us to use footage of this because it was filmed professionally. But sometimes I'm also sensitive to the fact that if you take this and put this out there, they can become a laughingstock to their profession. What are you all crying about this and that? So that I don't want to be part of that. Additional forms of abuse, in my opinion. But they've allowed it, so I use it, and I've used such footage in my classes privately to the people in the class. Have I worked? Absolutely. Yes, models and celebrities, and sometimes not even it's just non-celebrities, just the wealthiest people on the planet. And it's a funny thing because, again, kind of shooting myself in the foot in terms of what we could do for our profession. I could have taken much more advantage. I work on, a couple of people that were in the top wealthiest in the world, and I've also worked on celebrities and models and so on. And I've always thought it was pretty cool that they have the same rate as anybody else. I don't say actually. I know in my materials it says a certain amount, but I'm going to charge a percentage of what you own. It's kind of strange. I've known people that have spent hundreds of thousands in legal battles, and they came to me for a session, and everything resolved immediately, miraculously. And it's kind of weird because I'm glad I don't choose to charge them extra just because of who they are. But it's kind of weird sometimes to realize that they didn't mind spending hundreds of thousands, and yet they don't loosely say, wow, I really owe this, because you've done so much. So really, people are just people, and I'm not going to ask for it, and sometimes they don't offer it, but a lot of times they have. And I've seen a lot of generosity for what I do, people just writing big checks and so on. And again, and I share it, I share the wealth whenever I, have that. So that's how I deal with that. But I've worked on a lot of people, and guess what? Yes, money and fame brings you some unique issues. Some of these folks, they don't know who to trust. Everybody wants to be their friend, but why? There's agendas, just like in my position. Gosh, it's really a drag that people have so many agendas. So a lot of celebrities won't have any close friends because they never know where the agendas are. And that's unfortunate for any human being. But I do work on these folks, and they have, despite some unique challenges, they also have some that are very common. Some have been sexually abused just like poor people. Some have had people rip them off just like average people. Some of them are struggling with gay or straight just like anybody else. And on and on. They have family struggles, self-esteem issues. I've seen some of the most beautiful models that I've worked on. People just rave about how beautiful they are. And I work with them, and there's tears and there's insecurities, and what an amazing thing to watch people of such status shift, not because I'm holding them at such status, but that they're pressured with all that perfectionism, and then to see them in such a vulnerable place, I think it's just beautiful. I love seeing the guard drop like that and people being so open. It's just, I think, beautiful. So, but there's perks and pitfalls to anything in life in this dimension, and same goes with working with people like that. It's sort of out there a little bit, known out there a little bit. Rock stars as well, but I don't post it and all that a lot. There's a couple that I thought about, with their permission, for fun, I might share a couple things down the road. It's just a thought I had recently or over the last few years, partly because I'm just going to reconnect with someone I worked with a few years ago, haven't seen in a while. So I thought it would be fun to, just do something playful like that with social media the way it is. We can just do something more playful, this person and I or that person and I. So we'll see. You never know. All right.